Hey y'all, what's up? My name is Gabby. I wanted to bring y'all this video tonight because I'm sorry if that fan is too loud. I hope it's not too loud. I really just felt this pull to get up on here and talk to y'all because of something that I am currently experiencing and realizing that I just really wanted to share. So this morning I journaled. And it was a pretty short journal, right? It was only 2 pages. And the main point of that journal this morning was for me to get it down on paper so that I could fully understand that I needed to start being more present. I've been feeling so good lately, like for a while. And I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I feel like the glow been showing through the videos. And I apologize if that fan is too loud. I really hope it's not too loud. But like, yeah, so I really feel like the glow has just been showing through the videos. I really feel like more of me, like myself, than I ever have. And I'm just feeling good about life, feeling good about what's to come. And I truly do feel that this is my winning season in every part of my life, like not just one part in particular. I've been sowing seed for forever, and it just feels like this is my time, you know. And I've been thinking about it a lot, which seems great, right? You know, to think about all these wonderful and just beautiful things that are going to come to pass in your life. But I started to realize, I think maybe like honestly over the past maybe month or two, it's been a while that I think about this stuff all the time. And I realized that I was thinking about it a lot, and I was like, man, I know I need to stop thinking about it. And I was praying, and I was like, you know, God, I'm just so excited. Like, I don't want to start thinking about these things more than I think about you or spend time with you. But I'm just so excited because y'all, like, I was in the trenches of life for a long time, and just for such a long time, I just, you know, it's like really sad to say, but I just felt like I really didn't have a lot to be excited about, you know. Like, my life was just at a standstill for so long. Everything I was trying to do wasn't working out, and it's like, when I pressed forward, I wasn't getting very far. But when I didn't do anything at all, things were just getting worse. So it was like I was forced to do things and work hard with little result, because I would rather that than to do nothing and my situation getting worse. So like, to be in the place that I am in today has just been so beautiful. It's just been bringing me so much joy. Like, I literally laugh more, I smile more. It's just been so good. And it's mostly because, like, yeah, I've done so much inner work and everything like that, which, you know, everything I speak on in these videos are true. Like, it's real. There's so much I've overcome, and that feels good. But it also feels so amazing that I know good things are coming to me my way, you know. I finally feel like it's my time, you know. But I've been thinking about this so much that it consumes my day. Like, I spend all day thinking about the goodness of what God is doing for me. And it's good in a sense, you know, because in a way you're acknowledging God. But when you overdo it, you just start to lose sight of everything else. And that's what I've been doing. And I've just been feeling it, like, spiritually, that I need to stop doing that. But I just been having such a hard time. And I'm just like, God, I'm just so excited. Like, I'm sorry, I'm just so excited. Last night I decided, oh, Gabby, this gotta be the last day that you do this, because it's really pulling you away, and you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing in this season. You're not doing what you're supposed to be doing right now. Like, yeah, you've come a long way, but you still have work to do. But you're spending too much time thinking about what's about to happen. So I journaled. So my journal this morning was me saying, no more. I'm going to be more present, and I'm going to continue to do what I need to do. spiritually and mentally and emotionally to grow, because I'm still struggling in some areas. So the main thing today was to be present. And next weekend I'm going home to celebrate my mama's 50th birthday. And my little sister texted me earlier this afternoon. It's late at night right now, but earlier this afternoon, asking me was I happy to come home. And I didn't even know how to respond, and I didn't really respond until a couple of hours ago. But even before that, I was texting somebody else, and they just, asked, oh, how was your day? I explained and, asked them back, and then they said, how are you feeling? And that question kind of caught me off guard, and it just kind of made me face this feeling that I've been feeling all day. And when I thought about how to answer, I didn't know. So I responded and was like, physically I feel good, but otherwise I don't really know. And it just brought me back to the text from my sister, because at that point I hadn't responded yet. And it really got me thinking, like, dang, how do I really feel? And I didn't know. And after, talking it through a little bit for maybe it only took about 5 minutes, I started to realize, like, dang, I cut myself off from the excitement of thinking about what's to come, and it's left me feeling overwhelmed. I'm also going to be flying with my kids there, and like, flying with kids by itself it's not a game, it's not a joke, so that brings me just a little bit of anxiety, like, inside. So that's what I thought about first, and then I was like, well, I really realized that all the things I have been thinking about that bring me so much joy, I spent today not thinking about them, and I didn't even realize how empty it made me feel. And thinking about it more, I realized, dang, like, that's supposed to be God, like, that's supposed to be God that's fulfilling me and making me happy and giving me something worth feeling excited about. Not the things that he's gonna do for me, but him. And I was like, dang, and I started feeling bad, and I'm like, okay, well, maybe this is what God wanted me to see. Maybe this is why he was telling me that I need to be more present, so that I can realize that that's what I was doing. And then I thought about how I had just been so focused on that, and how that being stripped away just kind of made me feel like, well, what now? It shouldn't be like that, because in the Bible where someone had said, I believe that you're gonna do it, but even if you don't, I'm gonna be happy anyway. And that's what came to me. It's so easy to get wrapped up in what God said and what God is going to do for you, that you just kind of forget about God, and you just keep thinking about what he said. Well, at the end of the day, whether he ends up doing it or not saying that he won't, but we should be praising him and be thankful anyway, like, just for him, and have this trust that even if whatever it is don't work out, that he's still going to have a happy ending for us in the end. It's really not even about what he's going to do. It's just the knowing that he got you regardless. And I started realizing that once I removed all the thoughts of my exciting future to come, I started feeling all these feelings that I shouldn't be feeling, like overwhelmed and fear and nervousness. All these feelings started stirring up, and it's like, wow, like, why am I feeling all this if I trust God? Like, if I trust God to do it. And I realized, like, I went through a whole long period where I didn't believe, where I was hoping all of these things would happen, but it was hard to believe that they would. And I went through so much with God that now it's not just a belief that, these happenings will come to pass in my life or in me. I know it will. I know they will. And I put so much of my trust in the vision. I put so much of my trust in the vision that I stopped trust in God, which is weird because when you trust in the vision, that's you trusting what God said. But what about if he decided to take it away? Or if it just takes way longer than you thought? When you start having all of those scary, unsettling feelings coming in, that's showing that you trusted the vision more than you trust God. And that's not what I want. Because God is the rock. The Lord is the rock. And even if plans change, he never changes. So I want to stick with him regardless, because I know he's looking out for me and he's going to make sure things turn out for my good regardless of what I think or what I thought. And then it hit me. I used to do the same thing in the past, depress me, unhappy me, which is why it took me so long to realize how down bad I was in life. Because I would say all the time, the only thing that got me through those times was believing what God said, having faith in him, and my vision for the future. And back then, the things that I was believing in, I was just hoping that they would happen like within the next 1 to 5 years. But with this situation, it's like I've been expecting certain things to happen as soon as like today or tomorrow, within the next 6 months. But it's the same thing though. Like, even though I've changed mentally, spiritually, and emotionally, I have converted to the same way of thinking and putting my trust in what I know or believe God is going to do versus him. And the thing that really got me was so many of us are engulfed in figuring out what our purpose is. And you know, even when people do find out what their purpose is or their gift, they spend so much time thinking about that and wanting that and going after that. We spend so much time chasing the vision and we didn't even go to God first. Like, when I really truly decided to give my life to God, to give him a real shot, to trust him and believe him, everything changed, and not for the better. Everything fell apart. Seriously. Everything fell apart. And that's when I really had to start learning how to trust him. And thinking about that made me realize that back then, all that time, I was believing in and wanting something. I was trusting and having faith in God for the vision. And I wasn't even going to him. So I believed what he said he would do for me. And I was just waiting for it to happen. Praying. I was always praying. I was always journaling. Waiting, just waiting, like waiting on God and trying to heal myself and learning all these things till the time came where these things started happening in my life. And I never even went to God. Like, God gave me the vision and I never even went to him to figure out what I needed to do to get there. So he started showing me what I needed to do once I started going to him and I like really surrendered and stopped giving in to what I wanted, what my flesh wanted, and started actually being obedient. And that's what got me here today, in such a more light, joyful, happy place. Like, I'm so like much better now. Like, I can actually say I'm happy, even though a lot of things still haven't come to fruition yet from back then. I'm in such a better place. Like, God did that. He did that. But I found myself again chasing the vision, because before I would just believe and pray that my life would turn around. But now I know for a fact it is. And I've just been so happy to have something to be excited about. And I thought that justified me thinking about it. Lord, I'm just so happy for what you about to do. But I've totally stepped over him again. There's things that we have to do in order for the vision to come to pass. We can't just hope and pray. We have to go to him direct for him to tell us. Like, the only reason I'm so close now to receiving what God has for me is because I told myself back then, you know what, God, if nothing works out in my heart, in my personal life, in my relationship, in my family, with my friendships, in my career, with my finances, Lord, if nothing works out the way I thought it would, or I believe that you told me, as long as I got you, I'm gonna be happy anyway. I'm gonna be good anyway. If all of that stuff falls to the wayside, Lord, I know you got me. And when I really got to that point with God, that's when I found so much peace, because I knew whatever happened, I was going to be okay. And I believe that things were going to be well, because I know God loves me that much. He loves me that much. And I gotta love him that much to trust him that even when things don't look like I thought they would, that they're gonna be alright. So you think like once you get to a certain point with God that you just locked in, but sometimes we can backslide into certain mindsets and thoughts. And that's exactly what I did. I just found myself being more interested in what he was about to do, and being so excited with what he was about to do, versus continuing to do what I needed to do. I wasn't really sure what that was, but it makes sense that I didn't know what that was, because I pulled my trust back. Today was the first day, and I don't know how long, that I decided to just be present. And I felt so weird all day, but I didn't think much about it until I got 2 questions. Are you happy to be coming home? And how are you feeling today? And those 2 questions made me realize how empty I was feeling today. Like, why am I feeling empty? Just because I stopped thinking about the things that were exciting to me. Like, yeah, it was nice to have something to excite me, but without those things, just God's love for me should excite me. Just my trust in him should excite me. Stop being so consumed with his hand, and be consumed with him and who he is. When my time comes in every part of my life where the blessings start to manifest, I want to be so at peace. I want to be so tuned in and so rooted with God that when the blessings come in, I don't get afraid or overwhelmed or start second guessing. You know, sometimes things can happen really fast, and even if they're good things, we get nervous. This was just a way of him like looking out for me, because like, if that's what I told him I wanted, he's gonna make sure I get the message to ensure that I'm able to do that, to be standing with him in that way. Because right now I haven't been standing with him. I just been standing with what he said, and that's great and all, but I want to stand with him first. I'm not sure if God changes his mind or not, but if he does, I need all of my trust to be with him, so that even if he does change his mind, I'm good anyway. I guess the main thing is to stop chasing the vision and sit with God. To have all these visions, to have all these thoughts and pictures and movies in your head about what God is going to do for you, and believing and praying for them to happen, but not tuning in with him to do what he's telling you to do, what he needs for you to do to make it happen, doesn't make sense. We have these visions and we just cling on to them so tight, like, I know God gonna do it one day, I know God gonna do it one day. But God is not going to do it if we don't do our part. Believing and having faith that he's going to do it, yes, that's incredible. But that's only one part of it. Believing him is one part of it. He'll show it to you or show you pieces. But you got to go to him to get the rest, to figure out what you need to do. And a lot of that stuff that comes with him getting you to that place is going to be you changing your mindset. It's going to be you changing your behaviors. It's going to be changing what you listen to, what you watch, like all that stuff. I think about just certain changes that have happened in my relationship. If I would have never surrendered to God and started listening and doing the things that he was telling me to do, I would not have gotten anywhere. Like, I hadn't been getting anywhere for all those years. I don't think we mean any harm when we put our desires before God, even our righteous desires, like even the ones that we know came from him. I don't think we mean to do that. We just are excited to have something to look forward to, you know, especially if you're somebody who's been through real life hell. You know, it's very refreshing to have something to look forward to. But so many times we think that we're waiting on him, and a lot of times he's waiting on us. you know, because if he gives it to us before we're ready, or before we're trusting in him in true solidity, if he gives it to us before we're solidified in him, if something goes awry or in any way, we're gonna freak out because our trust was in the things instead of in him. Believing in what God told you is one thing, but it's only going to get you so far, because the version of you now is not ready for what he told you or what he showed you. That's why you don't already have it right now. There's things that you got to do to be able to be that version of yourself that is in the vision. There's things that you got to learn. There's things that you got to go through. There's things that you got to understand before you can get there and then actually sustain it and keep it. They say keep your eyes on the prize. But with things like this, the prize is God. Any of those things that you're looking at, that you putting all your faith and your hope in, he can give them to you. But what you gonna do if something happens and you lose it all? You're gonna be right back at square one with God. God is the prize. And when we keep our eyes on him and continue to listen to him and do what he tells us to do, and a lot of that stuff that he wants us to do is hard. It's hard. But that's what you gotta do if you really want to get to that vision life that he has for you. Well, that's it for this video, y'all. I really hope you enjoyed it. I'm sitting in my robe. But that's it for now, y'all. I love y'all so much. And into the next one. And peace and love. I'm out.